Hello. Welcome back to my channel, everyone. I am Benjamin. I am a textile and fashion designer here based in Los Angeles. I specialize in making low waist, no waist, and ecologically friendly garments, specifically usually from offcuts, donated clothing, stuff like that. This is part 3 of the Scrappy Rag Rug Jacket project. I am very, very excited to finally be at this stage. We're getting into the really artistic side of this project, so I'm really, really excited. If you want to check out part 1 and part 2, there is now a playlist that have them in there, so you can find it in there. Part 1 was just kind of an overview of the project, measuring the warp. Part 2 was a 40-minute epic of me getting my loom ready to weave. So that was getting my harnesses set up, getting the yarn slayed through the reed and threaded through the heddles, and tied onto the back beam, wound on, tied onto the front, and it is ready. My loom is over there ready to be woven on. So I'm very, very excited to be at this point of the project. So the purpose of this video is hopefully getting all of the fabric cut that I'm going to need for this and hopefully weaving all of the fabric. This should be a relatively short video for this because it's going to be cutting fabric and weaving. So it shouldn't be a terribly long video, just a lot of really chill time lapses, stuff like that. So I did want to give you a little bit of a premise of what I'm going to be doing here. So again, this project is using a whole bunch of scrap fabric that I've had in my stash for anywhere from like a year to many years. Some of it is stuff that is offcuts from other projects. Some of it has been donated to me, and I am going to give it new life in a new garment. So what I have here is 2 bags of fabric. I have decided to go with the grayscale color theme for a couple of reasons. One is if I decide to keep this jacket, most of my outfits are black, white, gray sort of thing. But I also have pops of color, so it'll help those pop more if they're black, white, and gray. And the other one was going to be like a beachy idea where it was going to have tones of like sandy colors, watery colors. And while I have a lot of blue, especially like in denim, I have a lot of jeans that have been donated to me. So that part would have been no problem. However, I have a severe lack of natural colors, so like sandy, beachy colors. I also have like a lot more white than I was planning on using in that one as well. So I figure this is going to give me a lot more mileage this way. So let me set down my coffee and give you kind of an idea of what we're doing, or what I'm doing. You're just watching. So this is all of my black and gray fabric, and this is my white fabric. So some of this is like old t-shirt material, a sheet, just various stuff. So some old shirts, all sorts of things. So I'm gonna be pulling scraps from here and cutting about, I would say, 3/4 of an inch wide strips by approximately 6 to 8 inch long strips. And those will get inserted into my fabric as I'm weaving in a gradient across the warp from black to white with gray in the middle. So I'm really, really excited to get this project going. What I need to do now is start sorting this fabric and cutting it out. And I have a ton of different fabric types in here. So I have silk, like a silk chiffon here. I have this like coat material. I don't know if I'll be using this because it's very stiff. It doesn't have any like drape. But I have some knit, I have some cotton wovens, So basically, I'm just gonna go through all of this, cut it up into strips. Anything that's real bulky and doesn't have drape, I'll probably just leave out. Maybe use this for another project. Some of these scraps are not very big, so I don't know if I'll be using them. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Pop you into a time lapse as I go through here. I'm gonna sort these back into those bags that I just showed you. That way I can just pull strips as I'm working. And then we'll go to the loom once all of that's done and start the weaving process, whatever. And I will see you when we get there. So strap in, enjoy this video. And if you have been enjoying this process video, this vlog, this making vlog, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up on this video and subscribe. I realized like almost 90% of my viewers are not subscribers. I think a lot of that is due to the crochet tutorials. People just find a tutorial and instead of subscribing, they just watch it, which is totally fine. No judgment here. But subscriptions really do help. I would love to get to 8,000 subscribers by the middle of the year. I'm not too far away from that, so maybe you can help. If you like this, share it with people. Anyways, I'll see you soon after I cut all of this stuff out and organize it into strips, and we're gonna get this project going. Hi everyone, and welcome back. It's been like 2 seconds for you, and it's been a few hours for me. So I am in the process of cutting up my fabric scraps into strips, and I'm really excited about this. I've done all of the black and some of the more solid gray, and now I'm moving on to the black and white fabrics, and most of those are actually fabrics that I designed and have bits left over. So like prints that I designed. So you can see down here, this is one of my branch prints, and I have decided to cut up the pieces that I had remaining for this project. I have some other shirts here and some other fabric that I still need to cut. And then I have a huge pile of white fabric that I need to cut. So yeah, I am working my way through it. I'm not going to get to weaving tonight. I'm going to keep cutting as much as I can over the next few days. And then hopefully this Sunday, I can have time to start weaving. I might be able to do it on Saturday after work, but my guess is that Sunday morning and Sunday after I teach a class, I'll be able to get some weaving done. And then hopefully finish that weaving on Monday so I can get this video out to you next Tuesday or Wednesday. So wish me luck. Hopefully I can keep going with this project pretty quickly and get the stuff cut. It's just a little bit of a drag, to be honest. Like, it's a fun project and I'm getting really excited for the creative portion. But right now it's just the slog of getting everything cut and prepped. And that is something that takes time. I'm happy to do it, of course, because that's part of the creative process. But I think many artists can relate to the fact that like sometimes you just want to make. You don't want to prep anymore. So sorry that I'm moving around so much. I will try to do less of that in the future. I do have what do you call this thing? A tripod now. That will help. But since this is vlog style, I'm just going to try and do what I can do when I can do it. So anyways, see you in the next clip. I'm going to keep cutting this stuff out. I'm not going to put you on another time lapse for this because who wants to watch 10 minutes of me cutting fabric strips? Anyways, I will see you in a little bit. Hello everyone and welcome to my loom. So in the earlier parts of this video you saw me cutting out a bunch of fabric strips and that'll be what goes on my fabric here on my loom. However, the first thing that I need to do is space out my warp so you can see, I'll show you when you're in the top-down video, or top-down section. I forgot that recording is so difficult. Uh-huh. Yes, baby. Okay. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my loom. In the earlier part of this video, you saw me cutting out a bunch of fabric strips for this project. Now it's time to actually get some fabric made on the loom. So at this point, you can see over here, and you'll see in the top down as I do the time lapse of this project, all of my areas where I tied up my warp, they're all kind of bound right here. So what I need to do before I start weaving the actual fabric for this is to space out my warp. So that just basically means getting it nice and even in a plain weave. I have my loom completely tied up for plain weave. So my middle two treadles are tied up that way. So when I press this treadle, half the harnesses go up, which are 1, 3, 5, and 7. And then when I press down the other treadle, the other half of the harnesses go up, which are 2, 4, 6, and 8. So the odds and the evens. So as I weave, I'm going to create a plain weave fabric. I figure a plain weave is going to have a nice structure to it. I don't need any drape in this fabric at all because it's going to be pretty stiff with the rag rug style weaving that I'm doing anyway. So I don't need to do a 2-2 twill or anything of that sort of structure. However, what I do need to do is set it up so about half of my harnesses, or I guess a quarter of my harnesses, raise up, where I can get pieces of fabric in, and I don't have to think about where I'm going to place them. That way, as I'm weaving, I will be able to stagger where the fabric bits go. So this will all become very apparent in the actual weaving process. So I'll get you set up in a time lapse, you'll see it happen. But yeah, the first thing I'm gonna do is separate my warp so it's nice and even. I think I'm gonna use some green ribbon that I have. It's just some simple satin ribbon that will help just separate it out. And later I'll be able to get it out a little bit easier because A, it's satin, and B, it's a nice like emerald Kelly green, and it'll be easy to see against the black. A nice high contrast thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. At this point, if I stop to explain anything, you'll see it, but the rest of this video, for most of it, is going to be time lapse of just me weaving and some nice chill music. So sit back, relax, and I will see you as I've gotten a lot more woven. Alrighty, so I've done just a couple of rows of the fabric and I'm already really enjoying this texture. So, of course, this will look very different when it is in the orientation that it will be eventually. And I still don't know if I want the white on top or the black on top, closest to the face. I think just because of visually, black tends to be heavier. I will have the black more towards the hem and the white near the top. However, I don't know. I think either one will look good with my skin tone. But I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep this lovely time lapse going for as long as my phone has battery. I am going to have to bring the warp forward or the fabric forward a little bit as I'm running out of weaving space. I always believe that you should advance your warp more often, even though, yes, it adds a little bit more work and a little bit more time to your project. At the end of the day, it's actually way better for you and your weaving. One thing I will say that I'm kind of annoyed about when I do full width projects is the edges tend to not be completely flat. So like you see, there's like a little bit of dip here. And that's because they have to bend around the other heddles that aren't being used. There are ways around that issue, but it's basically intermingling these empty heddles in with the rest of the project. And honestly, I feel like that's just a threading mistake waiting to happen. So anyways, I'm gonna keep going. I still have plenty of fabric in here, do not worry. Hopefully I won't run out, but I highly doubt that I will. So I'm basically just going with plain weave for about, I would say, 1/2 inch. And from there I do a row of fabric strips, and then I do another 1/2 inch of plain weave. So this project is gonna go fairly quickly. So let's head back to the time lapse. Hi, I'm down here now. So I hope you enjoyed that little bit of a time lapse. I only got a few inches woven tonight, but I'm going to stop for the evening because it's a little late and I don't want to be the annoying neighbor who's rattling around the loom, because it is pretty loud when I beat. Like, you can hear that. It's pretty loud. So I'm really happy with how this fabric is turning out, or how this textile is turning out. And I'm loving the gradient from the dark tones to the light tones. I have a ton of different fabrics in here. We've got an old shirt, we've got some like spandex, we have some sheer polyester, some sheer silk, we've got some jersey knit, we've got some satin, like we've got velvet, some silk velvet in here, we've got denim, we have everything. We really have everything. This is old material that I've had in my stash, scraps that I've had in my stash, cut-offs that I've had in my stash, and I'm really happy that I'm able to give it a new life now in this particular setting. So I'm gonna keep weaving on this tomorrow. This episode might be a day late, so this might go out on Wednesday rather than Tuesday, just so I can get more woven, but we'll see. I work all day tomorrow on Tuesday, so we'll see. I might do some weaving when I first wake up in the morning. But yeah, I just don't want to be a nuisance tonight. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it for a little bit, and I will see you in the next clip. And I hope that you all are having a great time watching this process. I know that I'm having a great time sharing it with you. So if you are enjoying it, again, a quick little reminder to go ahead and subscribe or hit the thumbs up button. It really, really helps. And if you have any questions, please throw them in the comments. I would love to know what you're thinking. And honestly, if you just want to share what you're working on right now, please also throw that in the comments. All right. See you in the next clip. Hey everyone, I wanted to hop in here and say I'm going to go ahead and post this video. I have not had a chance to get back onto my loom in the last day and a half due to work and just getting other stuff done that I need to get done. So in this next video, in part 4, I'll finish the weaving and get into drafting the work for the jacket. Although actually, I don't think I'm gonna draft a pattern for it. I'm just gonna make. So, famous last words, perhaps? So anyways, thank you so much for watching this video, part 3. Again, if you really enjoy this process, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more of this. Again, I'm trying to post once every single week, these various progress vlogs, and I'm really excited for the upcoming projects that will be coming down the pipeline soon. Ooh, very exciting. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay creative, and I'll see you in the next one.